Double Eagle podcast through SkyviewSports.net. This is Roy J. Akers with Jan Dowling, University of Michigan women's golf coach. Jan, you've been at the helm for, I think is it 12 or 13 years now?
12. This is my 13th year.
Wow. You've been
Time
there.
flies.
Yes, and you've led some of the most successful seasons in the women's Wolverine history with all of the regional appearances. I think you have 7. You've got 4 trips to the finals, Big Ten Coach of the Year, Big Ten Championship. I'm bragging on you out there because you can't say that about yourself. But the record speaks for itself, you and in the student athletes that are under your helm.
Thank you. It's been a blast. We've had some wonderful young women come through our program, and excited to keep building on what we've already done here.
Yeah. Now, this past spring, Mara Janis, she was an individual that made the regionals in the NCAA tournament, and she's a junior player this year. It looks like you have a great mix of players, because you're capped at 9. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but you have a good mix. You got 2 juniors, 2 seniors, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. So it looks like you got it all spread out. You got it all handled.
Yeah, we do. Actually, Mara's a senior as well. Mara's a senior, so we have 3 seniors on our team this year. So very exciting to have that. She was a redshirt her freshman year, but she's elected to finish up her career this season. So
Got it.
yeah,
You know,
but we do have a great mix. We've got 3 seniors. They are very motivated to take this team to a new level. They've been to regionals, but that group in particular hasn't been to the NCAA finals, and I know that's something that they're have been working very hard towards, and plan to get our team back there this spring.
Yeah. Now, taking a look at your team each year, what do you preach for the women's Wolverine team on day one when when you're recruiting them, when they come in for the year? What do you try to get them to do hitting the ground running?
I mean, just an overall philosophy is, we have this saying that's on top of our locker that says excellence is a choice you make daily. And so it's stacking good habits on top of days, right? So the more good choices you're making where you're prioritizing your academics and your golf, and making sure those 2 things stay at the top of your priority list day in and day out, usually have some pretty successful players. So, those choices that you make are small to big, right? So when you come to practice, you have a choice to be super prepared and super present, or you don't, right?
Yeah.
And so Mandy and I can only do so much as a coaching staff. If you put a great team practice together or a great individual practice together, if the players are present and putting their best foot forward, that's a habit, right? And so that's something that we really preach from the very beginning. And I think as well, it's like compete, right? Like show up and be ready to compete every day. And that's a habit as well. So, I think those 2 things are huge. And then, for our freshmen in particular, it's asking questions. Some things they do have to kind of figure out on their own. But asking questions and getting as much help as possible in the beginning to get their feet on the ground quickly is huge. We have 3 international freshmen that are here, and so that they've got a lot to acclimate to, not just the culture, but they're in dorms for the first time and taking university courses for the first time, and they're qualifying for their first tournament. So there's a lot on their plate, and our upperclassmen are going to do everything possible to kind of get them situated and on their feet as quickly as possible.
Well, obviously, you and your coaching staff, you're taking care of the golf end. And I think is that where the upperclassmen leadership comes in? What are a couple of those expectations that you have with Mara and some of the other players? Because you can coach them at the course, but there's certain things that they have to be able to do, and they can talk to their peers.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's been passed down from each class. They were freshmen at one period. So we actually have a team meeting with just our returners, and we talk about all the different ways that we can help our incoming
Hmm.
freshmen get acclimated. Because it's not just the first week, right? It's like, okay, we're traveling to our first tournament. What needs to happen to get yourself ready for that first tournament? And our upperclassmen help with that. But I really preach show them, don't tell them. I think that's a big
Hmm.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
don't tell them to work hard, show them how hard you work, right? I think that's a
Hmm.
big thing. And show them how we show up on time, show them
Yeah.
how we show up early, show them how hard we practice when we're here, and show them how hard we compete when we've got, little practice competitions. And then when
Hmm.
we're in our practice rounds, show them what Michigan women's golf is all about. Like, show them how clean your locker room is when you leave. Don't tell them, show them. And they're, most kids are pretty observant, whether it's subconscious or conscious, and so they kind of pick up on our culture pretty quickly. And
Hmm.
I think that is some of the best ways to lead. And we've certainly got three great seniors that are going to lead our program this year, and I'm pretty excited to have them doing that.
When we come back in 30, we're going to talk to Jan a little bit more on what's going to be like for the 25-26 season, the expectations, the schedule, and a whole lot more. We're going to do that on the flip side.
NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Toyota's got you covered. This guy went from dirt tracks to cup cars. This new kid is all gas, no brakes. And him, just a three-time Daytona winner, no big deal. That's just a taste of our team of legends. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Jan, every year the team is defined, and I'm sure that during the off season, has you the most excited about this group of women Wolverine players?
I mean, it's a combination of two things. I would say our returning players, particularly in the second half of our season, really established their culture, right? Like, we
Hmm.
talk about, our team has values that stick with each class of players through the years, but the personality and the actual culture of the team changes with each group of players that come
Yeah.
through. And this group of returners is particularly invested in continuing on with our great team culture that we had late last spring.
Hmm.
And then I think the second thing I'm most excited, so I am excited to watch the leadership from our returners, top to bottom. Our freshmen that are now sophomores are very have a ton of ownership in that too. So that whole group, top to bottom, of returners. And then the second thing I'm excited about is that we have a pretty strong freshman class. I
Hmm.
think all three of our incoming players have the ability to be in our lineup and make a lasting impact very, very early. And
Hmm.
excited to see what they're able to do, and help us contribute right away.
Yeah, now you have a big you brought this up earlier. You have a big contingent of foreign players dotted throughout your roster. How do you connect with these players? Do they get for recruiting? Do you seeing them in tournaments when they play in the AJGA, USGA tournaments, and that, or are they showing you videos? How do you do that when the players are from all over the place and they come here and say that I want to be a women's player for the University of Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, it's many things.
Hmm.
All three of the players that have come in, they spent their summers coming to the United States to play in golf tournaments to get recruited. So they were very motivated. This was something they sought out. Maybe not necessarily Michigan in the beginning, but we thankfully saw them play while they were stateside over the summers.
Sure.
And then, getting to know them through phone calls, Zooms, just like we're doing, emails, talking to their coaches, those types of things. And, we've had players from Southeast Asia before, so we've got some nice contacts there that
Hmm.
help with getting character references and so forth. And so it's a pretty wide-ranging process. And it's amazing. Come early next week, they're going to be stepping on campus, and it's a long process. I mean, all three of them, we've been talking for over 2 years, right? So,
Yeah.
and kind of targeting them, and them targeting us and other schools that have similar characteristics as Michigan. So, yeah, it's been a long process, and it's always fun to see them actually arrive on campus and move into their dorms.
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, when I was covering the AJGA a lot more, now I'm covering the ladies and the men's tours a lot
Yeah.
more. Um, but I remember Howie in the Hills and these different places. The women, the young women at that time, they're coming over here, they're learning the language, the culture, they're studying. They're not coming here flying to the United States for the first time next
Um,
week. A lot of them have been here for quite a while.
yeah.
And so they are acclimated, and it's not like that it's a total culture shock. And
Yeah.
that's probably a big help too to get acclimated
Yeah.
to your
Yeah,
program.
and so many of them have played on their national teams as well. So they've traveled
Sure,
alone before. They've gone to tournaments either by themselves or just with their team and not necessarily with their parents and their family. So we found that in general, international students are pretty mature and worldly. They kind of have more world experiences. Which is good, and there's positives to both sides, but we're thrilled
sure.
with this particular class.
Yeah, let's talk about the Big Ten from last year into this year for the next couple questions. Uh, Obviously, Northwestern, they're going to have a strong team. Who are the two or three teams that you expect they're going to try to overtake you for the Big Ten title? Because we're going to assume that you're going to be there, right? You
We're
got
gonna
to.
do our best, absolutely. And
Absolutely. So,
that's the
who are the
great thing
teams to
about
beat?
yeah, that's the great thing about the Big Ten is if you're competing for a Big Ten championship, you're a nationally contending team. It's always been that way, but I would say even more so this past year with adding the four teams from out west. So, you're gonna have Oregon is gonna be great again. They've got one of the top players in the world,
Kiara
Kiera Romero.
Romero.
Yeah, USC and UCLA are always very, very strong teams. Um, so otherwise Northwestern, of course, Michigan State, Ohio State, you're gonna have your kind of same typical contenders. And again, I think it's a great thing. We're competing against within our conference, like some of the top teams in the nation, and last year came out as the national champions. So it's exciting, and that's what we want. We're here to try and be national championship contenders, and uh, to be competing against them as often as possible is a really good thing.
Yeah, the Big Ten is you got I they have to be the whole conference has got to be ranked, if not one, number two. I know the Southeastern Conference is strong, the ACC, the
Yeah,
usual suspects in the warm climates, but there's so many great teams. Last year, out of the 10 first team players, six of them came from the old Pac 10.
yeah,
And so coming over, the player of the year, Kiera Romero comes over. And of course, there's a lot of players from the traditional Big Ten schools that are playing very well. I like watching Kerry Hollenball last year from Ohio
yeah,
State.
yeah. She
And
had a
so
great
there are
year.
players dotted throughout the Big Ten that can flat out play golf. It,
Absolutely.
what has to be exciting for you too, Jan, is that what I like is both the men and the women. You're seeing more televised play amongst these players for the USGA and in the NCAA. They're getting these student athletes exposure. That must be absolutely awesome and a great recruiting tool for you.
Yeah, and I think Golf Channel has done a great job covering the amateur game as well. It's a first class production. The USAM that happened this summer and the way they showcase the NCAA championship too is fantastic. And having that neutral site at La Costa is, I think, overall a huge positive for college golf, both on the men's and women's side, because the spectators are learning the course. They've figured out the best way to showcase the golf course and the challenges that it presents through their camera work. So, I mean, I think overall that package with Golf Channel and the NCAA is impressive, and it's exciting to have it showcased nationwide on broadcast television. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's
They're really
outstanding.
good. They're very,
Yeah,
very good. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's only going to get better. for both the men and the women. What we're going to do is we finish up here on the other side of 30. I want to talk a little bit about your schedule and then maybe just a couple other little finish up type things. And we'll do that with Jan Dowling, the 2022 Big Ten Women's Golf Coach of the Year. We'll do that in a moment.
There's a place no map will show you where GR cars turn into full-blown track beasts. Every apex we nailed, every second we shaved, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. You in?
Jan, we've talked about your team. We've talked about some other teams. Your schedule, you are a world beater out there. You are not shy. You guys are traveling all over the place, but you start off with your own invitational coming up in Ann Arbor at that awesome Alistair McKenzie course, right?
Yeah, we sure do. We're excited to host and showcase our great golf course, and the teams that did decide to come. I mean, it's the kind of golf course you want to see a couple times, especially if you're going to be competing to go to the NCAA finals on our course, which I guess there'll be 12 to 13 teams that do this spring. But we host a fall event. It's great for our team as well. We host every 4 or 5 years the NCAA championship, so we usually do a fall event to complement that. Allows teams to see the course, gives us a nice opportunity to compete on our home course, and what that feels like, I think it's a little bit different in golf. It's a unique experience. You don't often get to do it, and so I want our players to feel that before NCAAs. And sleeping in your own bed is a nice thing, but it's different. And so we're not staying in a hotel, which is what we normally do. And so just having those experiences before we get to the NCAA championship is huge. And we have a fun golf course here. The University.
I loved it when I played last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it presents a lot of great decision making, a lot of great short game, a lot of great putting. It's pretty McKenzie. I mean, there's a couple hourglass greens. And presents a lot of challenges to the players, particularly approach shots and chipping and putting. So it's the kind of place it's pretty intimidating to play the first couple of times, and as you learn the quirks and the humps and bumps of the greens and the approach shots, it starts to get a lot of fun. So hopefully all the teams that come and the players will appreciate the challenge. And we don't get to do it very often, so I know our players are excited and proud to be hosting at home.
Yeah, and that facility, it's definitely a world-class facility for you and all the college players. They come in there. We're not going to go over every tournament, but I do like your next tournament, the Canadian Collegiate Invitational hosted by Kent State. They've won something like 23 or 24 MAC championships in a row. 26?
Yeah. I'm an alum, so yeah.
Well, wow. And I'm hoping to get their coach to come on here too, because I mean, it doesn't matter what 26 in a row is amazing. So you're going to get a chance to tee off against them and some other teams. And something else on your schedule, you are going to be playing the Illini Women's Invitational at Medina.
Yeah.
A world-class golf course. That must be, got anything you want to spill on that one?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hosting the President's Cup, which is going to be pretty special for the players to experience that. And Mara Janis is a senior on our team, and she's from Chicago. So it's a little bit of a homecoming event for her, and her family's going to host us and have dinner at their house. So it's going to be a special week for everybody, but in particular, Mara to be playing Medina is going to be a pretty special experience.
Yeah. I'll just run through a couple of them here, just use them as speed bumps, but you're also going to be playing at the Tar Heel Invitational in Chapel Hill. Once again, you're going to be playing with a lot of heavyweights from all over the country. You really can't avoid anything. I mean, you guys are circled on a lot of people's calendar, and you've got some teams I'm sure that you've circled on, but how's the I've heard playing golf in Puerto Rico is pretty cool too, down there at the Puerto Rico Classic.
Yeah, it's always nice. Our first event of the spring to go down to the Caribbean is going to be pretty special, and they host a PGA Tour event there at the Grand. I forget what it's called, but to be playing on a PGA Tour caliber course is going to be pretty special, and that warm weather will feel pretty good in early February. So it's something
Yeah.
our players have. So speaking of circling, that they have that tournament circled for sure.
Well, if you need any reporters, I'm willing
Yeah,
to
we'll
I'm
call you,
willing to
Roy.
be a stowaway. And of course, then just real quick to finish up, I'm just going to mention them without talking a whole lot. You are playing in the Spartans Suncoast Collegiate Invitational, the Gators Invitational. Boy, you're ducking everybody, aren't you? And what is the Coach Mo Classic? Is that new this year?
It started last year or the year before. It's hosted by
Okay.
Furman down in Jacksonville. So a great event to kind of get some warm weather one more time before we head back up north. So we finish our spring season going to the University of Maryland, where we're defending champs, which will be fun. And then our Big Ten championship is in California this year. So that is a whole new experience for us.
I don't know. I think a lot of the Big Ten coaches should, if they realize what it was like for you to coach and go to some of these great golf courses and take world class women there. I think that they might switch their career path. So we won't tell anybody about that. But you have a great schedule, and it's nice to catch up with you. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and what I hope is we wrap up. Jan, is that maybe once during the fall, maybe once during the winter, we'll try to either have you on with the player, someone who's done
Sure.
particularly well, and we want to talk about Michigan Wolverine women's golf when you have the success, and because we want everybody to know what a great program that you're running there, Jan. Is that fair enough?
Thanks, Roy. Appreciate it. Appreciate the
No,
coverage of college golf, and we look forward to continuing this new tradition of ours.
that's awesome. Well, everyone, once again, we have Jan Dowling, the Coach of the Year in the Big Ten in 2022. She routinely gets her teams to the NCAA regionals and the finals often, whether it's individual or the team. So, Jan, thank you so much for taking 10, 15 minutes. And next week, it all begins. Hit them
Here we
long and
go.
straight.
Looking forward to it. It's fun.
Yep.
One of my favorite times of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be mine too. The only bad thing about summer is that the only good thing about summer ending and fall beginning to me is the college golf season
Right.
and of course college football. So that's
There we
the
go.
best part.
It's a
And
great
so
time here.
yeah, it sure is. Jan, thanks again, and